Good evening, people. My name is Detroit Miracle, and I'm back again. Okay, right now, I am here to talk about the incident involving the ex coach named Phil Jackson making some alleged racist comments during his commentary on some type of sports show a couple of days ago, I believe. And now it has made a huge buzz throughout social media where all types of platforms are coming out saying, did you hear Phil Jackson's racist statements in which he openly spoke about? Okay, out of curiosity, I typed in that message and heard everything that Phil Jackson had to say. And in all honesty, he didn't say anything specifically against black people, brown people, Hispanic people, Asian people, and etc. He made no type of defamatory racist statement specifically involving people in general. He didn't say that. I have to say because it would be out there and then they would be able to bring up those such cases or that such case where he actually did say something against black people, brown people, and etc. He only meant that he didn't like political messages and social messages being put out in the new NBA era where they had signs saying things like Black Lives Matter and so forth. That is what he was speaking about specifically. Yeah. So the moral to this story is people shouldn't always jump to conclusions and assume the worst about people. And they shouldn't misconstrue their statements to mean something that they didn't actually say. Hey, I would be the first one to condemn Phil Jackson if he was on TV or on the radio saying, look, black people this, black people that, you black people, but he didn't do that. He never said anything about any black person in regards to a racial slur, or he didn't even hint at anything of a racially motivated type of situation pertaining to ethnics of people. But I'm not going to say I'm in complete agreement with Phil Jackson. I'm just overstating the fact based on what I actually heard from him. And those were the words that came out of his mouth. He said he didn't like social messages or political messages being brought into the game of basketball. He said when people go to see a game, they want to watch that game without receiving any type of political statement or political message. He didn't say it in those exact words, but he meant that. He like, look, we should leave all this stuff outside in the world so that when we go to watch a sporting event, we want to simply immerse ourselves in that and have a good time and watch that event or that game. You can leave that social stuff outside because people do not want it put in their faces. But in life, they plaster us and they put social messages and political messages in everything we watch and in every place we go. Like there's always some type of political statement and social message everywhere and anywhere. It's all in the movies now, it's on TV, and you know, it's where you go, it's in what you do. Everybody has an opinion, everybody has their viewpoint, and this is a free society, so you're going to encounter political statements and messages just about everywhere. And in the game of basketball, when the players were doing it, when they brought those social messages, it was in regards to a protest against social injustice involving things such as police brutality and biased racist opinionations. So those players were standing up against that in a show of support for the people who have endured such bad treatment in society. And when Phil Jackson said that it was an underlying message behind what he said, people took it as a racial viewpoint on his part because he was talking against what those actual messages meant and what they stood for. So people are not dumb. People are incredibly intuitive, and they are smart. They can read between the lines, and they can read underlying messages in people's statements. They're like, oh, he said he don't want to see none of those messages at the games, no Black Lives Matter stuff, no protest against social injustice. That means he's a racist, you know, because if he's not in agreement with it, then he's against it. And what is he against regarding the actual statement? Yeah. And that was the take on it. And that's what I took from it. I don't think Phil Jackson should necessarily be completely condemned because he was honest enough to admit what he actually felt about that whole thing. There are racist people, there are racist owners, announcers, sportscasters in the entertainment industry that aren't as honest as Phil Jackson was. I know people are like, yeah, we know that, we figure that, but once they come out and say that they actually are, we're not supposed to like them then, and that's true. If they actually come out and say that, if you actually see people making racist comments and being a racist, you shouldn't like them and agree with them and go along with it. Because how you feel is right and true about a situation which is bad. You shouldn't be in agreement with something that's bad, ignorant, racist, biased, destructive. And racism is a very cancerous thing in society. It is a true cancer because it has not been gotten rid of. It is still, in fact, around, and it is a global affecting thing on a negative type of way. Well, folks, I'd appreciate it if you would give me those likes, comments, and please subscribe to my Detroit Miracle channel. Peace out.